Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Just a Sec, our first episode for 2026. I hope everyone has had an amazing holiday period, safe holiday period, and we're really excited to get back into the year. And we've got some great topics for our first show of 2026. I'm going to bring the team on. Jags, Dakota, Drea, and Steve. How are we all? Welcome back. We have some nice news to kick us off before we get into the serious stuff. Dakota, you're a baby daddy now. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Well done. How does it feel? How does it feel, man?
There's probably nothing as cool, frankly. It's really awesome. And I also was, I think, in bed for 10 hours last night. And I think I slept for about 5, maybe 4. So that's just the way it is.
Nice. Well, congratulations, man, and we're glad you're still able to join the podcast.
Of course, yeah, thanks.
All right, guys. To quickly introduce for anyone who's not been on the show before, this is our monthly Cyber Digest. We kind of take a few different directions, but we like to have a bit of fun with this. We start with the master topic, which goes for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then we get into a quick countdown of some quick fire topics. It's fun, it's fast. We are interactive, so it is live. So excuse any missed bleeping, but that's just the way that it is. You get what you get. And
I'm
if you have
sorry.
questions,
I'm sorry.
Allegedly.
I get it.
And if you have questions, jump in the comments. We'll handle questions live as well. So feel free to jump in and let us know what you think. All right. So to kick us off, we're going to start with our master topic, which is a very cool name, whoever came up with this. So the reverse Kaspersky, China bans US and Israeli security companies. I thought that was pretty clever. So guys, we're going to kick it over to you. Who wants to start us off? Steve, do you want to start us off?
I can get us going there if that works.
Off you go.
Fearless leader, go for
it. Yeah, so let's do a quick little scene setter here. Story is China has gone public. They want companies within China to not use certain US and Israeli technologies due to what they are saying are both risks from using that. Also, some of those companies potentially being involved in hacking efforts against China. So I do the quick Sentinel-1 disclaimer, legal, can't get in trouble. We're on this list. So as a company, we were mentioned, we have given our own public statement. We've sent notice to our clients, which essentially is 2 parts. One, this doesn't really impact us because we don't do a ton of business with Chinese companies. I don't know if that surprises many people. Other part of this is, and I think the actual interesting bridge into the topic is, as a company, we do our best to honor the policies and intents of as many governments as possible. We think that that's an important part of being an international company. That's no different than how we interact with the US government and the British government and the German government. So it's a thing that we take seriously, but also just isn't a massive impact for us. So with that being said, I think, there's been a lot of debate about this. I think in the US in particular, there's some real hard feelings about this. I'll take kind of the contrarian position of turnabout's fair play. I think countries get to pick how other countries impact them. And I think if anything, that really started in the US first. I mean, we talk about the reverse Kaspersky, but that actually happened. We banned Kaspersky in the government. That had profound impacts to Kaspersky's business in the US. TikTok, I don't know who TikTok is, but it's still all over the news. And these things happen. This is not a new topic. I think the only part is this is China. And also this isn't really new for China either. So that's kind of my perspective is okay, moving on. The internet's a balkanized place. That's my hot take on it.
Yeah. I mean, they said they were going to do it. It's in, I mean, they didn't say it publicly, but they put it in document 86 or whatever that was reported by Wall Street Journal.
Oh, yeah. I was going to read that one, right?
Yeah, and they said documents called Delete America, and that's what it says. It says if you have American stuff in your tech stack, plan to get rid of it. and do that. And like, I think we paid a lot of attention with like the iPhone bans, for particular government employees and things like that. They stopped Teslas from driving into particular facilities, and not just like military facilities. Like there are some airports that don't have Teslas. Like it's a whole thing. So it's like, yeah, they said they wanted to do it, and now they're doing it. And so we really shouldn't be surprised when they say things like that. And that segues me to the other thing, which is like, there's a there's a book that was written by Xi Jinping, and part of that book is making the argumentation that like security doesn't happen behind closed doors, and they've put a lot of effort into like centralizing information and vulnerability databases, etc. One of the other things that they talk about she talks about in that book is threat intelligence reporting, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Chinese government starts requiring private cybersecurity companies to deposit all of their incident response information into a government database, so the government can track incidents that are happening in China and then collate that information across a large data set. And I don't think we've seen anybody do that before. China has not yet done it, but I think that's what's next for them.
Haven't we always wanted that, though? All of us, right? Some sort of large intel database. I'm just wondering, maybe it lives in Greenland. Maybe that's
Dre's out there just juggling the fireballs.
Yeah. This is great.
Here we go.
You said the third rail. Thank you.
Yeah.
This third rail?
That one? To be fair, if I honestly just wish China would do this like across the board. There's something really interesting to be said here, right? Like, we look at it like it's this like impractical, problematic thing. I think like fuck the forget the mid-cap companies. That's not the issue. Those are not the ones having the biggest issues. The real issues are, you look at the mega big American companies or global companies trying to still capture Chinese markets. And there's all this hedging, because you're like, well, we don't want to upset the Chinese. We don't want to upset the Americans. We don't want to upset anybody. We just want to keep doing business. And I think one of the biggest gifts China could give us would be to just rip the Band-Aid off completely. And we can go back to forgetting China as a market that is anything foreign companies should be trying to approach at all. And it would just simplify so much of the corporate decision making, because you're not thinking like, well, how much revenue are we going to leave on the table? Because like, we're not trying to court a market that doesn't want any of our stuff anyways. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think the other part too, like in many ways, I think China is saying the quiet part out loud, which is like cybersecurity as an industry. Like, let's put the governments aside, like just the private sector, like it is tied to politics. Like it's irreversible. It's inseparable. I mean, every one of us on this call have been an author on a paper talking about governments doing government stuff. Like you cannot take this out of what we do. It is a core part of the threat landscape, and threat is relative. So I think this is one of those things where like, if somebody just took what China's doing and replaced China with the US, we'd be plus 1,000. Like, yeah, that's good, solid policy. Like it probably is good, solid policy for China too. I genuinely like don't have a problem with this.
So also, I'll say this, Steve. Point. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I jump in on that point? Because I feel like actually, I'll push back on that just a tiny bit, only just to play devil's advocate, which is, I think the US is so principled about not undermining its own tech that in some ways China would be safer using American technology to defend its endpoints than they are using anybody else's.
Yeah.
Because think about like the ops package, right? Like if somebody in the USIC, in the intelligence community, walks up and says, we're gonna hack Cisco products for the sake of like hitting these Chinese, endpoints, people would be like, that you can't do that. That's an American company. They're down the street. The minute somebody says we're gonna do this to like 360 or Kihu or whatever, like, go ahead, knock yourself out, burn the whole thing down if you want to, right? Mm-hmm. Just an odd little tidbit there that we don't really think about.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I think that's actually dead on. I think I always love the geopolitical aspects because the rules are not the same and we always act like they are. And I think you make a really good point there of like trying to walk that fine line of how we discuss this overall subject, but like there are just realities. There are legal reality. Like that's the whole part of like every government has its own set of laws. And you're absolutely right. Like the odds of insert U.S. government organization saying, you know what, we're just going to go and we're going to smoke AWS because we want to get to these Chinese targets. That's highly problematic. Like people probably go to jail for that. Right. But if you say that with Baidu, it's game on. Like that's a legitimate target. Like we actually have a term for it and it's not complicated. Yeah. So I think at the pragmatic level, you're absolutely right. Like there is some real ground truth of like using US laws against the US to some degree. The other part I just want to like highlight that I think is my favorite part of being a China watcher, and Dakota already mentioned it, like they already wrote this down. Like I love how we as an industry just continually are surprised by what China does, but they wrote it down 5 years ago. They actually do what they write down. Like this is not
Pikachu face.
Yeah, I mean, it really is.
Pikachu face is a big one for us.
Xi Jinping wrote about this, and then they went and did it. Who saw that coming? Anyone
only Dakota, because Dakota was the only one reading it. Like, let's be completely honest, right? Like, the problem here is Dakota goes on paternity leave, and then the whole industry goes, "Oh, we didn't know that was going to be a thing."
Yeah, that's it. I didn't mean to cut you off, Dre. Go ahead.
No, I didn't. I was just I was saying what's happening. Yeah, no, but it's true. I mean, like TikTok's very recent, and it's very, very much an aligned, parallel to everything we're talking about. We just did this to one of the largest Chinese corporations and most successful corporations, and it should not be surprising to anybody that there is retaliation, and it does feel like retaliation, by the way. But it's also like, fine, if that makes sense to you, it made sense to us, and here we all are. Let's carry on.
Also, so who is that puppy? We're just gonna act like Dre didn't pick up a puppy halfway through this.
No, this is LaFou. Hi. Oh. I just thought I would like up the cute factor over Jag's kitties and the baby.
That's nice.
Well, I was about to say, where's the
Where are my props? They have too much space to roam now. Yeah.
No. I didn't know when we got in Frenchie that they're like Velcro dogs. They just want to like sit here constantly.
I like that term, Velcro dog. It's good. Okay, so we're going to move on from the master topic and jump into our countdown. So let me just get this screen set up. These are some fun ones. Yeah.
The stressful part.
Yeah, this is where. Yeah.
I feel like, Jags, do you just have like PTSD from the horn? I can see it.
I was going to ask if we're going to have it this time. 1 second.
Also, I've found within the system that we use for this podcast a whole new section of sounds. And so I'm not saying the horn is changing, but there's like, like a fast heartbeat sound and like an applause and like a, police siren. So I don't know.
I like the horn. It reminds me of Around the Horn. And as one of only two sports people here, it's nostalgic. What do you think, Steve?
One of two sports
I think we still get points like Around the Horn.
That would make it more sense. Like we need some kind of gamification, right?
Let's just this show called, I think, Around the Born. I'm not sure, copyrights, but like maybe we just do that. It's a wholesale ripoff.
There we go.
All right, let's get into it. So first topic, Steve, is with you. China and async OS. What's up?
Yeah, so I want to put this in the water is wet category. This caught a lot over the holiday break. It's a serious vulnerability. It's a serious intrusion vector. I in no way want to make light of that at all. I think the big story there is like it's still the same story, which is if you go back and look at what's now public reporting, the intrusion started in November. The O day was discovered in December, and the patch didn't come out till January. So like, how many times have we seen that? Like a gazillion? I just think the real lesson there is it's so easy to get caught up in like the details of the sexy O day and just shoot right by the like organizations have to prioritize their security almost independent of patching. Like that is just not going to solve your problems because this was happening for at least 60 days before a patch came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it goes, I don't want to go back to the master topic, but like this tees it up nicely where like we're creating two separate ecosystems in tech. Jags talked about the offensive realities that enables, but like China has, as part of its vulnerability databases, government ministries that will support patch development for Chinese products. So there are the one for software on mobile devices. The Ministry of Industry and Information Technology will send people to your company and patch your software for you and push it out if you do not do it fast enough on their timeline. And so like this particular timeline is really interesting, but it points at the issue to saying like, if we separate these systems, the people who are more forceful about making you fix the problems are gonna have a better defensive ecosystem potentially than the US. And so I think this timeline is like right on. It's like you have to be doing more, and it's gonna get worse.
Love that.
Nailed it.
So
Nice.
give it China 60 days, or you give us 2 minutes. What's more powerful?
Dumb money purchases. What did you guys buy over the holidays?
Oh my god, this guy.
I bought not one but 2 new backpacks, which I did not need.
No. I can't, like, I wish I could move my camera. I have like 30 Labubu sitting next to me because
Are you serious?
I have a bunch of little girls coming on Saturday to my daughter's birthday party for a Labubu party. And we bought like I don't do anything in moderation. It's really like upsetting actually, but like so many Labubus.
You're like a gangster in like Childland.
What?
You're like a gangster in Childland right now. Like you're like a drug dealer. Like you've got supply. It's like a lot of Labubu.
I like fully stock X'd a bunch of this. I pop smarted it. It is like we bought the whole. You guys.
Parent of the
What
year.
is sorry? What is the Labubu?
What?
Can someone just hit the horn?
Okay,
hit the horn. Someone hit the horn.
Yeah, I'll
is this
I'll
like
buy some time. I
like
also
a
just
modern day
like what is
Tamagotchi?
Labubu?
There's a couple. So here's corn. This is from the Funky Mart
Oh
series.
my god!
And
What
that's
is that?
That
little
is funky.
fried shrimp.
It looks like sponge with eyes on it.
But there are, so if you're a Labubu fan, there's somebody in here who's gonna be like, what? Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes of whole sets of Labubus sitting next to me. It is not okay. It is not okay.
I recently
thought I was being
mall
ridiculous.
for the
I bought a
first time.
coffee subscription. You know, I was like, oh yeah,
Subscription.
it'll get mailed to my house. I thought that was out of pocket.
It's
but,
the gift that gives all year long.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because this is like perfect.
Saved by the horn.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, an important topic's coming up, so
Okay.
let's just jump to that.
On
one.
Red Notice, Steve.
Yeah.
What's black?
So I'm not going to
Black
bother trying to pronounce the names because that will turn into an international incident. But yet another major cyber criminal leader is either being gone after by a particular government. This one is Europol's Red Notice. For those who may not have ever dabbled in the Europol stuff, Red Notice is a pretty big deal. Like people are now actively looking for you and are trying to bring you home. So I'm still plus 1,000 on these. I love everything about these actual threat actors being identified as actual people with actual criminal problems. Like this never gets old. I smile every time I read one of these. That's the whole story. Nothing else there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we talked about this a little bit when the current administration came into office, but there are people in the administration who want, like gloves on faces to go grab people who do cybercrime globally. And I think that we've seen some things maybe in the last month or two that would suggest the administration is very likely to greenlight some really out of pocket stuff to go grab cyber criminals. So like the Red Notice is really interesting. I want to know, if this person arrives, with handcuffs on or zip ties outside of a Europol building with like a note attached, it's just like, you're welcome.
It was like full Batman.
Yeah, full Batman.
I have a different like hot take on this one, which is like, look, if you read the article, it mentions that this dude like casually happened to be released from like prison in June 2024 in Armenia, and you're like, I don't know that this, like, yeah, I'd love to send like a bunch of like dudes, Steves, like to go pick this guy up in the middle of nowhere and just like yoink him out. But like, frankly, See,
Sorry,
that's why
guys.
this doesn't work for me. I can't.
Y2K 38 time bomb. I do like this tagline, Steve. Well done. So 2000 and late. Who sings that song?
That's the Black Eyed Peas.
Black Eyed
Listen,
Peas. Yeah.
everyone likes the Black Eyed Peas. Let's just all act. Let's stop acting like we don't.
The
Everyone's
Black
a Black
Eyed Peas or Fergie?
This might be your
Like,
most.
you know.
This might be your most controversial take yet.
I guarantee you, Black Eyed Peas comes on, the room gets lit without fail.
No,
It's
that's
100% guaranteed.
that's like definitely like it's like but it's like entered like wedding playlist level. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
like,
you're right.
yeah.
Like, we're all
Right?
getting
Yeah.
old. Sucks.
damn.
Yeah, Black Eyed Peas. They've had hits long enough that can classify as classic rock. Think about that.
It's like a car that's like, what is it? What is the like number of years for something to be considered an antique? It's ridiculous. Like,
Did you just say Black Eyed Peas are classic rock?
Do you want to
They have
just stop?
songs that
Do you want to
now
just end the
That,
podcast?
that's the most controversial thing that
Can you
said
end the
all day.
podcast at this point right here, and we just all go reflect on our lives?
no, I
They
feel
go
like
full
cars
George
that
Will, Tom
were.
Blackout.
I feel like cars that were made the year I graduated in high school are like now considered an antique. It's this
A
ridiculous.
Mitsubishi Eclipse is considered a classic car legally.
What?
That's crazy.
What are we
Even Fast and
doing?
Furious, it can't be a classic car,
No.
except for the classic cars. That was a bad
Booster
thing.
says no.
So who wants to explain the apocalypse in 30 seconds?
Oh yeah. So I think this one's pretty cool because it's just the Y2K thing, but for Unix. Which, like, why didn't we fix that when we fixed Y2K? That is my only like. Also,
We've been talking about it
massive
since.
hats to the people that fixed Y2K. That was a big deal that people work really hard to have it not be a big deal, and they get laughed at. So, like, why was this not on the list? Why are we
If
doing
we
this?
have as hard a time with the apocalypse as we did with Y2K, then AI failed to change the coding industry, and that's it.
Yeah.
See, I told you I had new sounds.
This one works for me. I like it.
All right, moving on. Next topic.
Okay, I'm
Void
going to
link
complain about
written
this
by
one because I had a killer
AI.
proposed title for this that we did not go with, which was "Is it cake?" Because, like, that's where I'm kind of at with the malware written by AI stuff. Like, first of all, there's one good baking show, Great British Baking Show. I hate all the "Is it cake?" shows. Like, oh, is it a shoe? Oh, it's cake. I feel like that's just where we're at. Like, and to be fair, like, Checkpoint did some really good research. Like, there's some really good analysis. I just think, like, okay, AI is going to write malware and it's beginning to write malware. Like, can we stop with the "is it cake" already?
Yeah, we can, because we can assume. I mean, I don't write much of anything without AI anymore. And like, I think we're all like anybody like technically savvy with an aptitude is probably leveraging some sort of AI to optimize what they're doing.
In this case, what I'll give Checkpoint two things on the research, right? One of them is they were able to see like it was like an open dir, so like they were able to see the contents of like the C2 thing, and the literal markdown files for this one like AI engineering thing were in there. So you could literally be like, I know the freaking app that they use to build this thing.
Was it
Where
just
I think-
Jackie? Sorry. Just
No,
go.
it's something called TRAE, which I've never used before, but like, hey, it seems to produce good enough output for like Chinese malware frameworks. The other part of it is like, it looks like it's meant to be commercial, which is sort of interesting because it kind of shows like this ecosystem of like commercial support for Chinese government ops is like not thriving to the point where some folks may actually be like looking to get in on the take, which is fascinating. Like, we don't have that set up here.
Yep.
Traumatic.
All right. Jags, this one's actually you. You can kiss off. The AI internet debt. AI-driven attacks are about to call in our internet debt.
So about those Labubus, Drea. Okay, so look, this is a topic I've been ranting about a bit, but like the more that the same way that like Stevie was basically saying, you know, like, can we get over this? I feel that way about the whole hype around the Anthropic report about like, hey, Chinese operators using Claude Code to like create like autonomous attacks, except for one thing, which is the tempo that they were describing, essentially like the amount of attacks in a given short span of time, is where I think it gets super interesting. And I actually wanted to bring this one up with knowing Drea's here and you, Steve, because like you folks are looking at the numbers of what our services side does. And I'm really curious, not to put you on the spot, but like what the trend lines look like compared to last year. Because I feel like if we're going to see anything, it's probably going to be in those at whatever inflection point.
Are we talking specifically about AI, or are we talking about just?
I just think even if we don't know, like this, what Steve was saying, right? Even if we don't know that it's AI, right?
Well,
like,
we often don't. I mean, our analysts are just getting to a point where they're like walking into a scoping exercise and looking at a piece of malicious code and trying to evaluate whether or not it's AI. And they like, that's never been something that is their purpose initially. Like, it's usually like, we have to evacuate the threat actor. We have to like, plug the holes, resolve this incident. Oh, hell.
Don't worry about it. It's my topic. We can just keep going.
It's such a good point.
I love when you just get the end of the horn, you just get a just like a tiny. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the point is like, we don't necessarily. It makes me be very like self-reflective of like all these times when I've been on stage. I'm like, yeah, we're not seeing lots of AI, and I'm like, but are we looking for it in the right way? Like, I don't know that we really are. Do we know what AI mount code looks like?
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Does it even matter, right? Like, I think. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, go ahead. I was like, to your question about like volume. I mean, volume is going up, but like that was true before AI. It's probably going up more-ish. I will say, and this is going to sound like a hot take, but I actually don't mean this is a hot take at all. I am way less worried about massive volume because most companies' tech is actually pretty good at that. You get a big spike, it's easy, whap, whap, whap. Now the machines are off and running. Yeah. I am deeply concerned about the opposite. I am really concerned about AI coming up with highly specific intrusion paths because that is, I would rather find 10,000 victims changing every single minute versus that one victim with that one path and that one weird wonky vulnerability for the media person who's got the voice editing software. That's what I'm really concerned about with AI.
Or even if AI is so distracting that the human element is now allowed to.
Which we've seen with DDoS. We've seen it with ransomware.
Yeah, I mean, it's a distracting element, and especially when you're talking about in volume. I guess, like, just to close this topic out way past when it should have been closed out to begin with. Volume of incidents increases every year. The end. Is in measuring.
He loved doing that.
Whatever.
Damn.
It's more.
Double horn.
Okay.
All right. Last topic, Dakota. You're up. China's 15. I mean, it's just a rolling plan at this stage, surely.
Yeah. I mean, so the outline's out, right? They want advanced manufacturing, high-tech industries, green energy, AI, and they also want to boost their consumer market. I think that the 5-year plans are really interesting. Most people find it maybe a snooze, but I think it's interesting when they get it wrong. So, like, for example, when the last 5-year plan came out, like AI wasn't in it. And then I guess it was 2 5-year plans ago. Damn, I'm old. Anyways, then AI popped in the news, and all of a sudden you could see like the machinery of the policymaking apparatus in China be like, oh, we also need to do this. So I think it's nice that they aim for things, and they definitely tell us what they're interested in, which is cool and useful from like anticipating potential victims. But I also don't know what they've gotten wrong. And I think that's going to be really interesting to see over the next 5 years is like, what do they have to go backwards and like revise in? Or are they going to be like, we need to, a bioeconomy with Ginkgo Bioworks, like printing cement? Like, are they going to care about that kind of thing? It's just one of those, it's a nice thought exercise. But it's hard to know if they're right. And I think that they think that they're right, but time will only tell.
I thought this 15th iteration, and just reading through the outlines, you're totally right. Like where those are at. I think what's really interesting is compared to the other ones, this is a very like eat your vegetables one. Like this one is not so much like everything's cutting edge, bleeding edge. It is a lot more meat and potatoes, which I don't know what to make out of that. It's different.
Yeah, it's like Xi Jinping has been really big on increasing the size of government activity in the market. The percentage of GDP that's controlled by state-owned enterprises has increased. The number of employees at state-owned enterprises is up. The government is taking golden shares in privately held companies to try and exercise control over the private market. So like the meat and potatoes thing increasing over time is really interesting because it is another manifestation of the government taking kind of a leading role in something that up until Xi Jinping, they'd kind of not done. Like Xi Jinping is a strong leftist, and everyone since Deng Xiaoping in 1978 was a rightist, which meant that they were like, reduce the size of government, like we're just going to let it fly. And Xi Jinping is the first one since Mao, effectively, to try and increase the size of the state in the economy. And so the meat and potatoes makes total sense because they think that they can author what should go in those plans. Unfortunately, I don't think he learned, well, unfortunately for them, fortunately maybe for everyone else, I don't think he learned the lessons of the Mao era, which is to say that central planning is not a good way to run an economy. And so we'll see if
they're coming for the birds. That's what I heard.
That's right. Yeah,
that's China's deep.
Alrighty, guys, that's it for our countdown topics for the week. Is there any thoughts off the back of that? There is one legendary comment in the chat, which is Dakota is giving Nick Jonas today. So,
thanks. Appreciate that.
And someone did stick up for the Labubu, Drea. It's well, just said no judging the new generation. Our generation were obsessed with the troll dolls. So there you go.
Is. Or like what I call Furby.
I was going to say, is it the troll dolls? Is it the Furby? Is it the
Tamagotchi?
Like,
dashboards of cars.
My mom was like, they look angry and mean. I'm like, have you seen a Furby? Come on.
Yeah.
Furbies were scary.
I think they talk to you. What?
A Teddy Ruxpin?
No one has to stand up for the Labubus. Drea is basically a gangster amongst like the ages like was it like K through 12 right now. Like she's just stacked.
Yeah, I just get to.
I love the show is actually over and it's just running.
Yeah.
No, I really wish I could pick up my camera and show you like the bins of Labubus and Labubu things. We're having like a Labubu candle making party. And we're doing a Labubu like scavenger hunt. This is insane. It's insanity.
I'm glad it's not just me.
Parent
also,
of the year.
Cold here in Florida, and I don't want to hear it. I know y'all had some winter, and we did not. But we're gonna
have. Is it cold
like,
enough? You're actually wearing pants or just shorts?
I am wearing pants. I don't wear pants.
That's cold.
That's cold.
That's cold.
Yeah, it could get down to 27 degrees this weekend.
It was 45 here yesterday, which is Celsius.
You're talking Celsius over here. Yeah, no, it was 87, almost 90 degrees here 2 days ago. So Florida, like when all of America was under ice, we went to the Four Seasons and drank like cocktails by the pool. And my girlfriend, without question, sent her mom and sisters who live in Michigan and Northern Indiana a picture. And I was like, what are you doing?
Did they go no contact? Did they like stop talking to her forever?
I was like, you should not have done that. And then she's like, I'm so sorry. Jeez. Come on.
All right, we do have a legit question come through. Whoever wants to take this. Are we seeing attackers move away from traditional malware in favor of living in the land, using built-in Windows Linux tools for this specific campaign?
And everyone's heard me do this before. Living off the land has always been a thing. It has always been a thing. It has always been a preferred CTP. It has always worked incredibly well, actually. Like, I think we as an industry really get wrapped around the axle of like, especially when we want to rank bad guys. It's like, oh, well, they make their malware. Yeah. Oh, these guys use RDP. It's like, well, that actually doesn't mean anything. So I think that there will always be the living off the land traditional malware. I think the really interesting parts are when groups choose to do both, and with those moments they choose to oscillate between the two?
So I'm gonna talk for a minute if I can. Is that yes? So yes, all of the things that Steve just said. But I do think that with the evolution of like EDR platforms and behavioral telemetry, we see less and less traditional malware actually, outside of like phishing techniques and things like that, where like it's being done on a web-based platform and less like enterprise-based. Like we're seeing it's supposed to be exploitation of vulnerability followed by LOL. So this is like, if you ever hear me talk about, my suggested security posture, like priorities, getting yourself to, and then I do understand that asset management and asset inventory and application inventory are like the hardest challenges in an enterprise. So I'm not trying to like make this a cavalier statement and be like, all you have to do is this. Like, I know this is hard, but this is where it's like really impactful. If you can get to a point where your application inventory is very specific to your business, even regardless of how big you are. And I know, like I said, so hard, but that is going to be at this point in the game, the most strategic and impactful defense that you could possibly have, because there is very little you can do from a behavior perspective for legitimate software behavior. It becomes a collection of multi-behavior techniques, which we're all evolving into. But that is challenging to really build, and frankly, most enterprises don't have SIM solutions built in such a way that they are that sophisticated. So if you can get yourself to a point where your enterprise is really locking applications down, it's impactful. It is.
Let me give you one tidbit on that, which is, having looked at like advanced threat actors for a long time. To Steve's point, like living off the land has always been a thing, but it used to be for a certain period of time that it was a thing of like really advanced, really well-resourced, really disciplined threat actors. Like your TAO folks were doing that and making sure to place the stuff that really mattered in just the right place and nothing else would be seen. The difference we're seeing is, and AI is a factor in this, now the cost and the prohibitive nature of trying to do those operations is getting lower and lower and lower, and all of a sudden you're starting to see more attacks that are harder to collect on, harder to keep track of, harder to actually like have any visibility on whatsoever. And it's not TAO. You're not being targeted by like the greatest hackers of all time. Now you're just being targeted by folks who are like have a really nice harness for some coding agent.
A tiny bit of
really helps with that.
Our little bit of like remote work and things that we've like opened some doors here or there. Like, I'm not trying to blame that, because I think that's like an easy thing to like say, but there is some truth to the fact that the evolution of using legitimate software has absolutely always existed, but is much more comprehensive post-COVID in such a way that, basic user tooling. I mean, you just like, just ask Jackie, for example, like Evil AI, all of this stuff is like, okay, well, how do I make your life easier and appear legitimate? I mean, these programs actually run. And no, it's not legitimate software, but it legitimately works. And so it sort of has the same Trojan horse factor that it is, used in a different way.
Cool. All right, guys, that's it for the questions. We're at the end of time. What do we got? 30 seconds left. So well done. Welcome back to the year. Hope everyone enjoyed January stream. We'll be back again in February, so make sure you look out for our events across our social platforms, and still continue the conversation. You got questions, drop them in the comment threads, and we'll get back to you as well. But for today, thank you, Steve, Drea, Dakota, and Jags. We will see you next month.
Hi, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye for now.